The San Jose Sharks continue their gauntlet road trip, this time heading to Toronto to face the Maple Leafs. Here's what you need to know.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first or second listen of the day. As we continue to do these YouTube exclusive preview episodes where we spend 10 minutes looking at the Sharks' opponent and kind of the keys for the game or what to watch for in tonight's game. So the San Jose Sharks continue this 7-game road trip by heading to the Toronto Maple Leafs heading to Toronto to face the Maple Leafs, and the Maple Leafs, pretty good hockey team last time I checked. They currently have They are currently 78 points, first in the Atlantic. They are second in the Eastern Conference behind only the Washington Capitals, who are, of course, this year's one of the craziest stories of the season with what the Caps are doing this year. But the Maple Leafs been playing very well, 8-2 in their last 10, including they've won coming off a win in Pittsburgh on Sunday. So this is actually the second game of a back-to-back. They won 6-5 in overtime against Pittsburgh. So the Sharks waiting for the Maple Leafs in Toronto for this game. So let's look at the Maple Leafs and the Sharks actually match up. Sharks are 15-37-9 in the midst of an 8-game losing streak. The Toronto Maple Leafs 38-20-2. Again, having gone 8-2 in their past 10. The Sharks 2.57 goals for per game at 30th in the NHL. 3.7 goals allowed per game, 32nd in the NHL, 19.2% on the power play. That got bumped up after their 3 power play goals on the Sens, 25th in the NHL, 76.2% on the PK, 24th in the NHL. For the Maple Leafs, they averaged 3.23 goals per game, 9th in the NHL, as you would expect with this Maple Leaf offense. It's pretty good. Goals out per game, 2.87, 12th. Power play, 23%, 12th. And the PK at 79.2%, 17th in the NHL. Toffoli leads the way for the Sharks with 22 goals. Macklin with 31 assists and Celebrini with 44 points. Nylander has 35 goals for the Maple Leafs, and Marner leads the team in assists with 57 and in points with 75. As you would expect, the Maple Leafs have the edge in basically everything. The Maple Leafs, though, you would not expect, like, they do a good job of creating 5-on-5 goals. They don't create as much kind of shot attempts and as expected goals as you would expect for this offense. But the power play is very good. And when they are very much, when they get quality chances, they usually take advantage of them. The defense, they'll give up some shot attempts and expected goals, but the goaltending has been outstanding with Solars this year, I think, really kind of solidifying the goaltending for them. So, yeah, they will give up some opportunities, but the goaltending has really kind of been a huge factor for the Maple Leafs this season. Like I said, they are first in their division in point percentage. They're fourth in the NHL. One of the best teams at creating goals, kind of keeping these goals down. Their power play is good. Like, their offense is efficient, I think is the best way it's an efficient offense is probably the best way to put it. And they're willing to give up, like I said, they'll give up some stuff defensively, but the goalies have really kind of cleaned up for them. So how they line up, Matthew Nyes, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner on the first line, Holmberg, Tavares, Nylander on the second, McMahon, Domi, and Robertson on the third, Dewar, Kampf, and Reeves on the fourth line. Defensively, Riley and Ekman Larson, McCabe Myers, and then Benoit Timmins as your third pair, and then with Joseph Wall and Stolars on in net. So what to watch for in this game. Of course, the big question for the Sharks, as I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon, is will Macklin Celebrini be available? He's considered a game time decision. So the Sharks do have an optional morning skate. So we probably won't know until literally game time for if Macklin Celebrini is going to be in the lineup. Henry Thorne is expected to be out, and Jack Thompson will continue to slide in for him. But if Macklin Celebrini is not in the lineup, how do they try to replace him in his production, right? I would assume Alex Wenberg would slide up to the top line to play with Eklund and Toffoli. Or do you keep that second line that's been humming with Zetterlund, Will Smith, and then Wenberg together, and then you try to kind of cobble together another line with Eklund, Toffoli, and then maybe it's like a Nico Sturm, or do you put Luke Cunnin as your a center to kind of hold down the fort at least until Macklin Celebrini gets back? This is game 1 of 2 of a back-to-back for the Sharks, but I mean, if my gut feeling tells me that Celebrini does play. He did finish the Sens game. And like I have a feeling he plays. I don't know why. I just have a gut feeling that he plays. So we shall see. So yes, that's the number one thing. Macklin Celebrini plays. If he does not play, how do the Sharks try to put together some centers here without Macklin Celebrini? So that's the number one thing to watch for. Number 2, like I said, the Maple Leafs will give up a little bit defensively. Can you take advantage if you're the San Jose Sharks, right? The power play scored 3 goals against the Ottawa Senators. Can you continue? I think that's going to be your route to success in this game, right? Is taking advantage of your power play opportunities, especially that first unit. Will Smith, Macklin Celebrini, Toffoli, and Eklund with Jake Wallman on the point. They're going to have to continue to take advantage of whatever opportunities they get. And then can you frustrate, or can you get a couple goals at 5-on-5 against goalies who have both been very, very good this season for the Maple Leafs? So we know the Maple Leafs offense is very good. They're very efficient. Maybe they don't generate as much like shot attempts and stuff as you would potentially expect, but I do think there's some opportunities for the Sharks. Like we saw against the Sens, we've seen against some of these good teams at times where the Sharks can dictate pace of play, dictate opportunities. But you're going to have to try to solve either Stolars or Wall. Both those guys have been playing excellent this year. Stolars, 927 save percentage in 21 games. Wall, 907 save percentage with 270 goals against in 32 games. Don't know who's starting. I guess we could probably figure it out here. Look at who started against. I would assume it's Stolars because Wall played. So that's not good for the Sharks having to play Stolars, who's been absolutely outstanding this season. So I'm assuming the Sharks will face Stolars, and Stolars has kind of had the Sharks numbers back to his Ducks days. So I do think you're going to have to try to solve Stolars, but the Maple Leafs will give you some opportunities. So, and then can you ride for the Sharks? The third thing they kind of watch for, right, is can you ride out those moments when the Maple Leafs push? Because you know it's going to come, right? The Maple Leafs are too good of an offense, and they're going to have moments where there's 5 minutes or so where they're just spending the entire time in the Shark zone. I assume it's going to be Alexander Georgiev starting this game. Can you hang in there during those 5 minutes? Don't let things get catastrophic, and then counter punch and take your chances. So I do think, though, the Maple Leafs pull out a victory. Not pull out. I think they win this game. I'm going to go 4-2 Maple Leafs. Give me another Will Smith point. The kid has been absolutely on fire. So yeah, I think Will Smith continues. I think he actually scores a goal in this game. but I think the Toronto Maple Leafs win this game 4-2. So we'll have a full breakdown on this game as the Sharks try to avoid 9 straight losses on your next episode of Locked On Sharks, wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well.